One of the things I want to just go back to was what the Minister was talking about, and that was the Mental Health Inquiry. And we're really fortunate in that Barbara is one of the members of the inquiry panel and also a member of the NGO Council. And in the mental health services, we say that mental health is everyone's business because mental health impacts on the lives of millions of New Zealanders. It's not just an issue that sits in the mental health sector. It's absolutely a significant impactor of people's lives across New Zealand. And so Barbara is going to talk a little bit about the inquiry, just to kind of get her insider information. So thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Marion. E nā iwi, e nā reo, e nā mana, tēnā koutou katoa. Ko tōku pepiha tēnei, ko Kosciuszko te manga, ko Tumut te awa, ko te whenua te moimoia te whenua, ko te motu o Waiheke te tūringa waiwai, ko Barbara Disley tōku whenua. Well, the government inquiry into mental health. It was a bit of a surprise to be asked to be part of it, but a real privilege. And so what I want to do just very quickly is to give you a little bit of an oversight of what it is about. The terms of reference are on the DIA website, so if you haven't seen them, it would be really great if you did have a look. They're very, very broad. Right. There are 6 members of the panel, and I have to say I have never had the privilege of working with such a dynamic and interesting panel of people. You've been around too long when Warwick Brunton refers to you as being there for continuity, which is why I'm there apparently. So I'll have to try not to have too many bright ideas because I'm really there just for consistency. But Professor Ron Patterson, some of you will know Ron, he was the Health and Disability Commissioner. He's chairing the panel. And Ron, of course, brings a wealth of experience across the whole of the health sector. Dean Rangihuna. Dean is a person who has used mental health and AOD services. He comes from Christchurch and is a consumer advocate with Canterbury DHB and a really thoughtful, deep thinker and is adding immense value to our deliberations. Jemima Tatai Seth is at Auckland University and has done a lot of work in looking at the Pacific base around suicide and suicide prevention. So she brings a very strong base of knowledge and connection into Pacifica communities. And Josiah Tualaimali is the most dynamic young person I've ever had to sit in a room with. He is just ball-packed energy, young Samoan man from Christchurch. He's just, the first meeting had to Skype in from the Channel Islands because he was there for the International Youth Parliament. The next meeting, he was headed off to Samoa with Jacinda. And so he is really the voice of future generations, and so great to have him there. And of course, Sir Mason needs no introduction, presumably, to anybody in this room, and it's just fabulous to have him on the panel and such wisdom. So we, as a team, we have, as I say, a very broad remit. We are not just looking at the services end, and you heard the Minister this morning, it is a very broad-based inquiry. Everybody in this room, given the areas that you all work in and the knowledge you have of your communities, will have something to say of relevance to the inquiry. We are looking at promotion of wellbeing, we're looking at prevention of mental health and AOD challenges, and distress as a result of those. And we are really then looking at what is available and what should be available for people for whom life has become challenging as a result of mental health distress. And so we are taking that mandate and the broadness of that mandate really, really seriously. So for us, it provides an opportunity to look at a systems approach to mental health and wellbeing. and to look at how can we actually look at stemming the tide for future generations. And if we can't do that for everybody, how can we also then have a response system that absolutely is well equipped to intervene early and well and minimise distress. So if you wish to have a look, have a look on the website and you'll see the terms. We have done a little bit of thinking about how we want to work, and we will certainly want to carry our work out with compassion and empathy. We want to engage as wide and far and deeply as we can with individuals and with communities of interest. And we're aiming to bring some fresh thinking to the solutions. We've heard this morning about, how fresh thinking and being brave and courageous enough to talk about the things people don't want to talk about, to think about how we could perhaps run the whole system quite differently is our challenge. And that does keep me awake at night, I have to say. Not with ideas spinning at the moment, but the sheer horror and of what is it that we could be doing differently and might do differently that would really change the face of mental health services and the way we support people. So, as I said, our approach is that we will be talking to people, we will be receiving submissions. We aren't starting from scratch. There's been a lot of work done in the mental health area and a lot of reports. So as the Minister said, we will be pulling off those, we will be putting the information together, we will be looking at what they said that was sensible and perhaps hasn't been picked up, and we'll be going forward on there. And we are wanting to acknowledge and know where the gaps are, but I have to say, as a team, as an inquiry team, we've already very strongly said we will have failed in our challenge if we are not focused on solutions and new ways of looking at things. So we do want people, we want everybody to think about what could you do differently, what could we as a country do differently. And I think big. So, it's some of the things stemming the tide is about, it is about beginning to address things like poverty, the legacies of colonisation, our love affair with alcohol as a society. I mean, these are some of the big, deep issues that I think are going to get raised as a result of this inquiry about what do we really value in our communities and how do we really make sure that if we're really focused on stemming the tide, we have practices and processes that support every young person born today to be as healthy and have the best chance in shaking life that they can. So we're wanting people to think really, really broadly. We have done some thinking about our values, as I said, and we will be trying to do this showing compassion, aroha, and empathy, building relationships, trying to understand the communities in which we all work, and trying as we go forward to build bridges. We really want to start as a team to think about how do we get a more united sector as well, a more united response. Our sector is divided and we all tend to come at it with fairly strong self-interest, even those of us that sit in the NGO sector. So how can we build bridges forward and how can we really begin to shape in the way we do our work something new and different? There is a proposed timeline. We will be coming out at the end of this month with a consultation document that will allow you to walk through some of the terms of reference and provide comment on them if you so wish. And there will be about a window of 4 weeks where people can put in written submissions. We will also then have public hearings and meetings where we, as we visit different parts of the country, we are also already starting to initiate meetings with each of the DHBs and to begin to set up those meetings so that we can visit each DHB patch and have a look at what's happening there, not only within the DHB itself, but within the community, talk to family members, talk to consumer groups and to individuals. And we've got a very tight time frame, which is the 31st of October, for us to deliver our report back to the Minister, as he said this morning. There is the mental health inquiry at dia.govt.nz. If any of you want to make sure that you get the consultation documents or that you want to have your say, just write there, and that will be picked up and recorded, and then you will be sent the documentation or given any information that you request about what we're doing. So look forward to hearing from you all.